This is the Mobile App Minute, a weekly look at how to market your mobile app in a noisy world. Here are your hosts, Rob Woodbridge and Peggy Ann Soles.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mobile App Minute. My name is Rob Woodbridge from Untethered.tv.
And I'm Peggy Ann Saltz from Mobile Groove.
All right, if you've been a regular viewer, as you should be, and we thank you very much for coming back many times, you have understood and internalized the hard truth by now. An app download is not going to seal your success. In fact, it's a flawed KPI to begin with. We call it a vanity metric, and reams of research show that users tend to delete many apps after they download them, literally sometimes on the same day that they download them. So how do you stay top of mind with your users? By engaging with them and making your app business, not just your app, accessible on their mobile devices. How do you achieve this customer closeness? By using all the tools, the communication tools and techniques at your disposal. Isn't that right, Peggy?
Absolutely, Rob. That's why I've had my little soapbox since the very start. It's all about engagement. I've been saying that forever, even before the apps, right? I was in mobile before apps. And it really
there was no mobile before apps, Peggy. Come on.
Mobile before apps. I was there for the beginning. No, I won't say I was there for the beginnings of text messaging, but definitely for the use of text messaging with permission, which is, what is that? That's push notifications. So yes, it's all there. It's all about engagement. It's all about creating a conversation so you can re-engage, because that's the way you get people to use your app again, and that's the way you tell them, if they have deleted it, that they could maybe give you another chance. It's all about that conversation.
Yeah, for the most part, this engagement focuses on the written word. We know that, but it's great to begin with. But how about if devs want more impact?
Well, that's another great story, because of course we do have rich messaging, right? We have, rich engagement thanks to the device, thanks to what is possible with an app. But hey, now we've got another one. I've got some news for you. We've got MMS making a comeback. Picture messaging, which wasn't possible before for a number of reasons I'll get to. But the good news is that it is possible, at least for app devs right now in the US. And it's a way to engage using what was now really, our modus operandi. It's visual content. It's messages that we can see, but also we can interact with, like text.
So the way is clear for app developers to use MMS in how they communicate with users. Finally, what took so long?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, in a word, it was cost, and I guess what you would call friction. And I'll get to that in a moment. But first, the new news. So as of very recently, as I said, app devs in the States, it'll be coming to Europe, guys, so just, hang in there. But what we have the news that Twilio, which offers a software and cloud communications platform, and you might remember them from having a text messaging API, and they've done the same for MMS, at least as I said, for app devs in the States. So what it does is it allows app devs and their users, that's really important, because it'll be a conversation around visuals, to send pictures, send video, and this is really important engagement because it blends together the best of both worlds. So we have text, because we know people read that within a few minutes of receiving them, and we have rich media, which we know from email people are engaging with, and now we have MMS, which brings that all together. So it should be, it should accelerate some innovation, make some very interesting opportunities for app developers to engage. So let's talk about what took so long, right? So as I said, it was cost, it was friction. You had to set this up with short codes, which meant you had to go to mobile operators, and you had to deal with that schedule, which could take up to, well, let's say about 15 weeks, and possibly a cost of $10,000 to start to get the short code and put this together. So as we come to Twilio's new offer, it makes MMS available on standard US phone numbers, which eliminates the wait time, reduces that cost, so you have as little as $1 per month to get started. And the way is clear then to send and receive pictures, videos, and it will be exciting, as I said, to see what people do and how they put it into practice. So let me get into how it works. And I had a pre-launch briefing with Twilio about this right before they launched. And it's very straightforward. Your user sends an MMS, and that's going to a US Twilio phone number. And you'll remember that Twilio receives the message. This is all cloud-based, makes a request to your app logic about how to proceed, and then your code decides how to respond. And that seals the deal, makes the conversation possible.
So simple. I love the fact that there's this new capability for app developers to harness. So what can this experience look like?
Well, I think shopping's an obvious one. You could imagine, what you see is what you get. Now it's what you capture is what you're conversing around. I think another great one for people with utility apps out there is basically anything you capture, you can indicate and communicate. So you could imagine, I have a repair to make. I want a refund. The TV set is broken. The plumbing needs fixed, what have you. And you can communicate that literally in pictures better than in words. So you can imagine that type of exchange. But overall, I think that there are three possibilities here, and I'd like to list them for you. So I think marketing is a good one. So that's, what you see is what you get. It's like, I saw this fantastic sweater. Do you have it in my size? Is it in stock? Enabling that type of commerce based on visual images. 2 is customer service. I think that's possible, again, because it's like, this is broke, fix it. This is how it's broke. I'm not going to explain it to you. That would be very good for me, for example. What's wrong with it? I don't know, just fix it. So here's a picture, you deal with it. And number 3 is engagement all around, and I think there's a great opportunity here for some imagination, some innovation. I'd like to share with you this particular sort of prototype, riding the selfie bandwagon. And it's a beta fun app that Twilio shared with me to give you a better idea of how this experience could look. And so users send their selfie to Twilio, and guess what? They get back a selfie with a mustache. What could be simpler? What could be more fun? Okay, it's just a start, but you get the idea.
What could be better than a mustache selfie? I would like to do this. Do you think that they could do this, Peggy, with sounds as well? Because, when you take your car into the shop and you're trying to describe the sound, it would be great if I could just capture it and send it to them ahead of time so I don't have to make a fool of myself when I try to describe it, like ching, ching, clink, 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 ching, clink, clink, ching, clink, clink. Right? I think that's another good example. And the mustache and car sounds for me. What do you think?
I think it works just great, and I'm really looking forward to what app devs can do with this, because it's another tool, in that toolbox of capabilities I've been talking about. And what it's going to do, it's going to make you look and sound and act, appear like a real business. And that's the key to it, isn't it, really? Is being able to communicate any way your customer wants to communicate with you, any way your user wants to communicate with you, and now you can add visual to the mix.
Beautiful. Thank you, Peggy. This has been another Mobile App Minute. We'll see you next time.
See you, Rob. I'm going to go shave now.
Don't forget to come back next week for our next episode.